extremely passionate about the brand ever since. I mean, he told me like his first model numbers that
It's memorized.
it's absolutely memorized out there. And in fact, you actually worked for the company for
Yeah,
a
for a
while.
few.
Yeah. So I'd like to just introduce here tonight, Mr. Robert Vega. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you for the show. So, just tell me a little bit about your background. You know, what intrigued you about Invicta? Let's just start with that. Why don't you, see
I
what we
was
did about
searching
Invicta?
the web back in the day.
Mhm.
This was back in 2004.
Yep.
Looking for something special, something unique.
Yeah.
And I came across a website that was selling Invicta, and I saw a specific model number, and there was a two-tone Pro Diver.
Hmm.
Didn't know anything about Pro Divers. Didn't
Yeah.
know anything about
Now,
Invicta.
did you have watches before? Were you always a watch guy, or
No, I
no?
mean what I had. I'm not even gonna mention on
Fair enough.
on this site.
Fair enough.
Came up came up with
I remember I had an Armatron back in.
yeah, I think it was Casio or
Okay.
something that wasn't
All right.
it wasn't like what I wanted.
Wasn't doing it
I
for you.
wanted a nice wristwatch, and I picked up this Pro Diver. It's a two-tone. It was model 9938A.
Okay.
Had the ETA 2824 in it,
Nice.
which didn't know what ETA was, didn't know what 2824 meant, didn't
Hmm.
know anything. After I bought the watch, a lot of people started complimenting me on that. And I moved forward, and then I started doing my research on it, the Invicta brand
Hmm.
and what's out there. And every week I was picking up something new, something extra, something unique,
Yeah.
which is what Invicta is all about, is the uniqueness that's
Right.
brought into the market.
And I think that's a real big aspect of collecting is just the unique nature of all the different designs that Invicta has. Here, I'm going to pull you over just a little bit. There we go. Now we're both in that shot a little bit better. That's the beauty of it. And tonight we're going to see. I mean, you got to see that even more about the uniqueness of Invicta, just with the Subaquanoma 8 coming up. Here, let me just do a little teaser. Let me just show you something. I didn't even know that this even existed until, what time was our meeting? Like at 11 this morning? Let me just show you something. You know how cars and our automobile companies, they'll have those concept cars that just look, super futuristic. They look extremely cool. And, there's some technology in there that you just really never have seen before. Now, this is like that. It's a prototype. It's actually functioning and working, but there's actually a music box inside of this. So it's like one of those, you can see right there. Here's where you wind it up in the back. And I'll just show it a little bit more, a little bit later, but this is what Invicta is about. This is what Al does. He's all about that design work, that engineering that goes along with the watch. And so he wanted to figure out, let's just figure out a way to incorporate in a music box here. And so you can see right now, it's actually moving. It's a little bit lighter in the music, but you have the case there, but you can still hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see how that's all moving. I mean, this is like the heartbeat of Invicta. And so this is what we do. We like designing. We like creating something different. Like you start out with your 40 millimeter Pro Diver. I mean, I started out with a 40 millimeter Pro Diver too, but then it expands from there. And you had your collection tonight, and I saw you have a Chatham and Dover. You have the Russian Diver Nautilus. You have this Subaco Specialty we'll talk about a little bit later and such. So that is the beauty of Invicta. We're just always creating, always designing. Now, here, one of the
Asking me, Peter's asking me if there are going to be any newer versions of a 60 millimeter or larger watch.
Well, we have one tonight, that big burgundy watch that we talked about before. That's from the Speedway collection. And we're going to keep on creating some of the bigger watches and such as that. But, we're going to focus on that Invicta size, that between 48, 52 millimeter, and then also smaller. I see too, there's also, people are asking about the tritium watches. And when it comes to the tritium, there are very strict standards. And so we're working on getting more. I actually have a couple tritium watches on some ripsaws, but I mean, they are like these, I think it's, is it MB Microtech, I think is the name. And they actually, from what I remember, we have to actually send out the watches, and this company then applies it to like the hands on the watch or for the hour markers and everything.
It's a precise, it's a precise. manufacturing process
Yeah.
to get that done.
That inert gas and everything. I mean, that's so we'll be working on that. We would love to see some more tritium. But the import restrictions, it's actually, I didn't know this, are considered to be like is considered like a medical device. So it's just very stringent in terms of trying to, get that accomplished, get it manufactured, send it over, have it back, and move forward. Do you have any tritium watches?
I have one.
You have one?
Yeah.
What is that on?
It's on a Pro Diver as well.
Pro Diver as well? Yeah. I mean, very cool technology and something we don't do very often. So
No.
you ever see tritium, you want to pick up on that. Let's see. Nikki is asking about the music watch if they can buy. That's a no. This is
Not yet.
only, yeah, just like the that music watch, it's like a concept car. When you go to that car show and they have the model just all dressed up in,
It's a concept.
clothes that were painted on,
Yeah.
basically. It's just a concept. It's not out for production, but that's the whole thing too. Actually, something personal about me was I was hired to drive a boat by Lexus that they created. It was a concept boat because they make cars, but they wanted to show how they could marinize their engines. Their engines are so nice. So it was an $8 million project, a $3 million boat, and I drove it on Lake Michigan for 3 days with a helicopter over me. You can find it online if you type Lexus boat. There are two of them. One was that was not for sale. That went to the owner of Toyota then. So
Wow.
maybe we'll see. I mean, we'll see about that. But well, let's go on with the show here, and let's start with a couple of watches. Robert, are there any more questions here?
Yeah, they're asking me. Godfather says he's got a pocket watch with a music box in it.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's an Invicta or I've personally never seen it or one.
Okay. So Glenn, I'll be seeing Glenn here this coming week here, coming up on Saturday. And he can't make it out on the cruise here.
Yeah.
I know you
I came back from a
Mhm.
European one, so
Yeah. Let's see. Okay.
they're asking me if there's going to be promotions or percentages off in the future on the site.
On the website.
I think there's some going on now.
There's usually always something going on
Yeah.
with the website. I mean, here's the thing. What I would say is sign up for the emails from invictastores.com because you'll get emails and even some text messages too of like, hey, what's coming up? This is like, I mean, they have just some amazing opportunities out there. So definitely go and sign up and get into that to get those notifications via email. I mean, they're very attractive. I mean, every time I get one, I look and see the watches there. So, well, let's start out. So we want to sell 26. What number is this, Greg? We're looking at 2740. I just have to look up on my sheet real quick of what number that is. Let's see, 27640. What number is that, Greg, in the order? Here, just here, 27640. 27640. Sorry, guys. They threw me a little bit of a zinger here. Number two. Okay, here we go. I can do that. Let me just grab it right here. 27640. There we go. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start out with this timepiece here. You'll see it right now on the web on the BAM or on the streaming there. You can just click on it. They'll bring you right to the website. Very easy to be able to make that purchase. But you guys, this is a number one. So when we're talking about number ones, we're going to get into that just a little bit more here today. Is that, I mean, number ones are, I mean, this is a number one out of 500 that will ever be made. It's one of our bigger watches. And, that's the thing is like so many people, associate Invicta with the bigger watches. And that's really where we started to gain a lot of momentum.
Yeah. I get a lot of comments where they say, well, Invicta makes huge watches. And then I go ahead and pull out mine. I go, this is 47 millimeters. This is not huge.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it varies, it depends. They got all different sizes, Well,
and here's the thing. I mean, the price on this is $1,299.90. What we're looking at in terms of the overall carat weight for this timepiece, it's 734 diamonds. It's over 3 carats. Now, here's the thing. I mean, look at this. I mean, the diamonds are something really special. I mean, sometimes we'll put 15 diamonds on the hands of one watch, or there might be diamond markers on the 6, 9, and 12 o'clock hour markers. There might be either 6 or 9 diamonds. I mean, I'll tell you, this is so meticulous for a diamond setter to sit down and do the same repeat 734 times. I mean, I could never do that.
No,
I don't have the concentration to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could maybe get through 5 or 10. How many diamonds do you think you could set on a watch? I mean, let us know a number on online right now. I mean, that's like, I mean, 734. We had a watch. I'll get back to this in a second. We had a watch that had like, what was it? I think it had 1,600, over 1,600 diamonds. And it basically, those watches absorbed all the time of our diamond setters. Like they weren't able to do other watches like this and such.
It's a meticulous job.
Meticulous
to
job.
set those diamonds.
I mean, the diamonds have to be sorted, and then, you know, all the colors have to line up, and then they have to set them, everything else. Now, here's what you're getting into. You're getting in that grand octane, 734 diamonds, over 3 carats worth for this 56 millimeter by 20 millimeters. And we have the NH35A on the inside. The watch is going to come packaged in an 18 slot briefcase signed by AL. That's what we're doing with the number ones here. And to just show you, we'll look right back here. This is that number one. So if we look, let's see, right here, limited edition, you'll see it's upside down, number 1 out of 500. So only one person can get this. I mean, there are 499 others out there. That is, we made them all.
499, but who wants to be the person who holds the number 1 of the run?
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. And we probably sold this watch when I was on the network, probably for around this price, just for whatever.
For a regular
number two through
499.
Yeah, 495, 500. So this is that opportunity to get into that Grail timepiece, and we'll talk about it with Robert too. I mean, he's got some number ones. I have some number ones. And you have like one of the
number one
Grail number ones of all time that you brought in tonight. And I mean, here, tell me this: like, what does it feel for you to have that? I mean, just be honest. Like, I mean,
it feels great to actually own the first piece of that run
off the line
that nobody else has. That you're the one in the whole world that's going to have that one piece that says number 1 in the back.
And the thing is, everybody else, in my opinion, who gets number 2 through 500 is going to be envious, and they would trade in a heartbeat, whatever number they have, for that number 1.
Exactly.
And tonight, this is a deal for you to be able to get into a watch that's just completely coated in diamonds and that actual number 1. When, like, if you go to the website, or if you go on the networks and stuff like that, you just go ahead and get the watch. It's a limited edition. You never know what number you're going to get. You know for sure, for certain that this is going to be that number 1 watch. And I mean,
in the whole world,
you just know. I mean, the only other way to do is you can get it. You can look them up. Some of these are secondhand on, wherever you can buy them on those types of websites. Yeah. But you know what?
You're gonna dish out
price.
You're gonna dish it out.
And it's either maybe it could be never worn, or it could be
worn,
or it could be worn or used, and even that would be much higher than what we're doing these number 1s for. So I love the case back on this, Robert. It's the black case back. You were talking about this a little bit earlier. Is that it's a bold presence with that number 1. Sometimes the font can be a little bit smaller out there, a little bit harder to read. We're joking about having a magnifying glass.
Right, yeah.
But this is the watch that we have right here that we're smudging up with our fingers and my cuticle oil right now. I mean, we'll wipe it off before it gets there, but this is that number 1.
Number 1 out of, what is it,
500
pieces.
500 that will ever be made. Mechanical automatic, that robust NH35A. We're going to be talking more about that movement tonight, just a little bit later. But this is an absolute beauty. So, all right. Now, what we have, we don't have actually we don't have the case tonight that the watch is going to come in, but you're going to get the watch package with its certificate of authentication. number 1 out of 500. The certificate is signed by AL. The briefcase, 18 slot briefcase, is going to be signed by AL, and this watch will then be inside. Like this watch is actually housed with other number ones. It's called the One Room here, and so it's a secret room in the corporate office, which is locked up for the night. You can't go.
But going back to the number one, you're getting AL signature.
Yeah.
The president and CEO of the company, certificate of authenticity.
Yeah.
A dive case with the signature of AL.
Yep.
I mean, what more do you want?
And you know which one you're getting. You're getting that number one.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So this is so I mean, this is we're gonna wrap this up, guys. So we have another. We're just spending time another minute. If it goes, we'll go. Otherwise, we'll come back to it maybe a little bit later because we have some other watches to come to here tonight. But again, this is that chance to be able to get into just something miraculous. I mean, this watch commands a lot of presence. I think it's style. It gives you that confidence on the wrist when you have something like this on. I mean, I'll tell you, even if you have a Grand Octane with a single diamond, you know, we went that much more forward with this watch to put on over 700, actually 734 diamonds, and then to make that set and to make this a numbered limited edition. So yeah, that's the thing. We're gonna move on. We're gonna go to a different timepiece here, but you know, we're number ones. I have 3 number ones, and you said you have more than one, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah, I have a full diver, 40 millimeters with a sand dust dial, I believe it was called.
Oh, the sandstone.
Sandstone
dial
with the diamond hour markers. It's number 1 out of 50.
Number 1 out of 50.
Yeah, that was.
Dang.
I pulled that out. I don't know how I pulled that one.
Well, we're going to move on here, and we're going to go to, let's see, we're going to do the, we'll go to the Akulas.